Guys, as I'm sure many of you have probably noticed, something that's becoming more and more commonplace, and it seems like every week some major news outlet drops another piece on the so-called masculinity crisis. Most recently, we had the Netflix documentary by Louis Theroux, and it got, heavily critiqued, and I have my own opinions on it, but that's what I'm talking about. And much of this, guys, will have these clickbait topics and titles. For example, men are lost, men are angry, outraged, etc. Men are lonely, depressed, and of course, men are dangerous. And yet, at the same time, you've got guys willing to pay $5,000, $10,000 or more to go out in the woods, to get yelled at, to be frozen, to suffer, just to feel like a man again. Talking about boot camps, guys. And let's think about that for a second. And I mean, really think about that, guys. You don't need to pay $5,000, $10,000 or more for something that's ingrained in your DNA, something that you should already be aware of. Rites of passage, guys, used to be built into our lives as men. Now they're being so-called packaged and sold. So what does this tell you? Well, it tells you this, that nobody really knows what a man is anymore. Well, we do, but we like to be told by others what masculinity is. And they want to define masculinity based on their ideology and whatever they subscribe to. And that, guys, is the real problem. So, if you listen to this mainstream narrative, it tends to go something like this. That masculinity is, quote unquote, outdated. That what we've had ingrained for us for hundreds of thousands of years is no longer useful or no longer fits modern society. That it's harmful. That it is, of course, the term I'm sure everybody's aware of, that masculinity has become toxic. And that it needs to be softened and redefined and, corrected. Corrected to a more feminized version. That we need to adapt masculinity to the modern world so it's, of course, less dangerous. And then on the other side, you've got the internet social media version. It's extreme. It's overcompensating. It is performative. The chest beating, screaming at the camera to be more alpha and real men do X. And most guys are sort of sitting in the middle. Again, this is, most guys are not these extremes, guys. Most of us, most men, are somewhere in the middle, and they question themselves, what the hell am I supposed to do with all of this? And here's the reality, guys, that very few are pointing out clearly. This isn't a masculinity crisis. It's a definition crisis, guys, and there's a difference there. Men didn't suddenly become weak. Well, their target disappeared, or basically the goalpost has been moved. Some cases further away, some cases probably a little bit closer. But think about it, guys. For almost all of human history, save the last, say 50, 60 years, hundreds of thousands of years, guys, being a man was quite simple. You provided, you protected, you built, you endured, and as I said, very fucking simple. There was friction in a man's life. There was responsibility. There was necessity. Period. And now, guys, basically a guy can do fuck all pretty much all day. You can order your food by touching a few buttons. You can avoid risk entirely. You can basically avoid confrontation or any difficult conversations. And most men can honestly avoid responsibility. They can live in their parents' basements till they're 35 years old. And they can still survive. And guys, in some cases, you can even almost thrive. So what happens? Well, any edge a man had, any sort of, roughness to him, dulls. And it's not because guys are somehow broken or masculinity has become outdated. Rather, it's because the environment stopped demanding anything at all from men. And here's something that many men don't understand, or frankly, even give a passing thought to. You're operating on hardware that was built for a completely different world, meaning our evolutionary past, guys. Steve Stewart Williams tackles this topic in his book, The Ape That Understood the Universe. And in that book, he talks about the term of evolutionary lapse, or evolutionary lag, as other people have used it. But basically, guys, our wiring in our brain, our hardwiring, is not adapted for the current sort of environment the last 100 years. I'd recommend you read that book. It's this one here. It's a very deep dive on evolutionary biology, and it's definitely worth reading. Anyways, guys, moving on. But in our evolutionary past, we had movement. We had competition. There were male hierarchies, guys, and these were built and founded on meritocracy, meaning you just didn't get to be at the top. You had to earn your way to the top. Men have always been meritocratic. There was risk, guys, and I'm talking about real risk. Wars, simply something about, going and getting your food, finding shelter. There was real risk, guys, and men had real fucking purpose. Now, we're surrounded by comfort. It is utterly ubiquitous, guys. It is everywhere. Convenience. You can, anything from ordering your groceries, buying your clothes, paying your rent, whatever. It's a few buttons on your phone. There's apps for literally everything. Guys, we have endless distraction. I've talked about this before. Your phone, YouTube, prawn, food. Distraction is endless. Guys can't stand in something as simple as a grocery line without scrolling through their phone. We live lives of zero friction for the most part, guys. And that gap, and that's where this confusion lives, guys. So, and instead of understanding that, society tends to pathologize it. They like to label it, and they love to shame it. Oh, do they love to shame it. Anything that is remotely masculine these days, guys, is often shamed. And now it has become highly politicized. So let me return to what I talked about in the beginning of the video. These so-called alpha camps or man boot camps or whatever the hell they want to call them. Because to me, it's sort of fascinating. I don't know if that's the right word. If I'm being brutally honest with this, it's sort of fucking insane. Guys are literally paying thousands of dollars. I'm talking $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for a weekend of being told how to be a man, to get up early, to get yelled at, to carry heavy shit, to sit in silence, to sort of push yourself physically and mentally, I suppose. And oftentimes, these men are paying to be emasculated. Yes, guys, there's an irony there that shouldn't be missed. Thousands of dollars to become a man, to have some asshole emasculate you. Crazy, I know. But let me translate that for you guys. They're paying to do the very shit in their life that their life should already require. I'm going to say that again, guys. You're paying to do the very shit that you should be doing in your life already. That's it. There's nothing magical happening at these camps. There's no secret code that they're unlocking of, the ancient fucking Viking warriors. No ancient rituals, no hidden powers. We knock women for some of this stuff, guys, yet we're doing the same stupid shit. Right? And it's certainly not dropping 5, 10, 20K on the weekend in the woods and then to get some free t-shirt. No. Guys, it's simply structure, challenge, discomfort. And being around other dudes for $10,000? Yeah, guys, that's not the answer. All right, guys, well, that leaves us with what do men actually do? Well, they're going to swing into one of two camps. Not a boot camp, but camps, guys. Sides. Well, there's the first one. And you see this, guys, the soft, passive, agreeable. These are the men that sort of align with feminism because it thinks it's going to advance their cause. That more women are going to want to align with them, accept them, because they are being more like women. Guys, and I talked about this in my previous video, when you're being the nice guy. It's this video here. I recommend taking a look at it. It's a short video and it kind of hits on this topic. But flip that over, guys. And on the other side, what do you have? Well, you have guys that are overcorrecting the other way. They're overcompensating. They are being, doing masculinity in a performative fashion. They are loud. They're obnoxious. They're aggressive. They're trying to prove something, guys. I think we all know who they are. There's no shortage of them on the internet. But make no mistake here, guys. These are both reactionary. Neither is grounded, okay? And most guys, again, they really don't want either of these extremes. I think we like to think that, everybody is highly polarized, far right or far left. But if you talk to the average dude, the average person, they're probably somewhere in that middle. But anyways, guys, most guys don't really want either extreme here, right? But they're unsure of what direction to actually take. But what most men do know, what they really know, guys, is they want something real. Something that is authentic and it's not performative bullshit. All right, guys, so here's where I land on this. No ideology, no labels, no bullshit. And you don't have to give me $5,000 or $10,000 for this, guys, or you don't have to attend the GC bootcamp. And you don't even have to read my book right here. Although you should probably read it. Instead of like $5,000 or $10,000, it's like, I don't know, $13, and I think it's free on Kindle. Just saying, guys. Anyways, what guys want here, or what, like I said, how I sort of distill this down, it's simple, basic reality. So what is a man, guys? What is a masculine guy? Well, here it is, guys. Write this down. Well, first and foremost, he keeps his word to other people, and more importantly, to himself. Whatever he says to himself, he keeps his fucking word. He controls himself, guys. He's not an emotional douche rag. These guys build something. Guys, this could be anything from a business to a log cabin to writing a book. He has a greater mission and purpose. He builds. Guys, again, it could be tangible, could be sort of an abstract concept. He takes responsibility. Guys, I talked about this in other videos. Ultimate responsibility. Everything that happens in your life, you take responsibility. You may not be culpable. It may not be your fault. But how you react to it is most certainly on you. Take ultimate responsibility, guys. And he handles the pressures, the daily pressures of life without fanfare or the need for validation. It's just what he does. It's a man who moves forward, regardless of what's going on, the shit that's going on in his life, work, wife, kids, bills, stress, doesn't matter. He just moved forward, guys. No bitching, no complaining, no fucking whining. That's what a man is to me, guys. Pretty simple. These are not, I didn't tell you that you had to, bench 225 or whatever the hell it is, or make a fucking $1 million a year. No, that's it, guys. And it's really that fucking simple. No theatrics, no performance, no need to broadcast it on social media for everybody to see, guys. You don't need a title, and you most certainly don't need the validation. What you do need, guys, and I've said this before as well, is you need standards in your life, and you need to adhere to those standards. And all right, guys, so if you're sitting there right now and you're watching this video, which I hope you are, you're feeling off, maybe flat, dull, unfocused, bored, or just sort of disconnected. Guys, it's not because you're broken. You may have a dopamine addiction. We can talk about that later. But it's because your life is too goddamn comfortable and far too unstructured in many cases. You have no friction. You have no demands. And guys, a lot of you don't have the standards as I just spoke about. So yeah, with that in mind, you are going to start questioning things. And you should, guys. That's a good thing. But you should start with yourself. And here's a simple truth, guys. Men aren't lost because masculinity has gone the way of the dodo bird. No. Men are lost because no one told them what actually matters anymore. With the loss of sort of father figures and male role models, this is pretty easy to see. So they turn to the internet and, social media, and they look for it and seek it out. They go to the camps, as I talked about earlier, the endless content. They go to the extremes, guys. We see this. They go to the extremes. And they look for this masculinity in other people. When the answer is far, far simpler than that, guys. All you have to do is build it by daily actions, by consistency. It's through what you do. It's through what you tolerate, and more importantly, what you don't tolerate, and what you refuse, what you say no to. Guys, being a man is not about what you say. It is judged more by your actions. That's how men are respected. That's how things get done, by your actions and your results. All right, guys, I know I once again came at you kind of hard. And again, I'll say this for, the umpteenth time. I do this because I give a shit and I see guys struggling. In my way is more the stick rather than the carrot. And for some of you that might work, and others, you may be turned off by that and you're probably not watching at this point anyways. But if this sort of felt like a call out, guys, good, because maybe it needs to be. And I'm not here to bullshit you guys, sell you false and bullshit ideologies, tell you to give me 5 or 10 G's for some nonsense fucking man camp that fixes you in, 3 days before you go back to your bullshit mundane life. It's not how it works, guys. No, I simply want to wake you up, to make you more aware. To realize that there's no 10-strap program to this, guys, no boot camp or book, not even mine, that's going to make you more masculine. No. Anyone that's telling you that is just another fucking grifter or snake oil salesman, con man, guys. Conventional masculinity, guys, I don't know if you want to call it, traditional. I like the term conventional, but conventional masculinity, guys, is far more simple. There's no need to overcomplicate what biology ingrained in men over literally millennia. It's been there and it'll be there, guys. All right, guys, YouTube is telling me that you should watch this video next here. It's a good follow-up to what we talked about here, guys. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. Remember to smash that like, drop the comments, and subscribe, guys. And as always, live deliberately.